This courtesy Peacock, the streaming service, Rich Eisen show. Rich Eisen talking about Baker Mayfield, Browns quarterback.
Let me just ask you something. If you're without your top two wideouts in the NFL, you're toast, right? In the NFL. And then the quarterback who throws for 300 yards when the other guy almost throws for 400 yards and keeps you in the game, and you're going back and forth one after the other. We're talking about how great that quarterback is, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, he threw for 300 yards. Top two receivers are out. How come Baker just gets crap? What is it? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't get it. And so I'll ask you. You're there in Cleveland, Justin. Like, what, you want Charlie Fry back? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, do you want the old days back? Because this is a hell of a lot better than anything remotely close to what you had prior to Baker Mayfield. I mean, like, what do you want? You know, I mean, you just make a defensive stop every now and then, and you know, that this is one of those games where if the defense actually was able to hold Justin Herbert down and not let Mike Williams behind them and all of that business, then you win this game.
Let's welcome in Mac Robinson from 92.3 The Fan and Rich Eisen, NFL Network, Peacock streaming service. It's a valid point.
Yeah, he makes an excellent point, Dave. And, you know, the thing with Baker Mayfield is that I feel like it gets taken to the extreme because, again, there's certain things that you can nitpick with him and, you know, you can have some criticism and obviously it's fair. But at the same time, I feel like with Baker Mayfield, we take it to the complete extreme because all of a sudden now it goes from something that maybe nitpicking a few decisions here and there that, yes, could it have turned the ball game? Sure. But at the same time, he's not the entire end-all be-all reason why they ended up losing the game. And like, no, there's a multitude of factors that you had. And like he said, too, I understand that you have injuries, but you can get one or two stops on defense all of a sudden instead of letting Austin Eckler all of a sudden run his way into the end zone constantly left and right. You know, I do feel like Baker is getting a lot of this blame thrown his way. And honestly, I don't think it's justified. I think that, honestly, the way that the Browns have been playing lately, again, I think that Baker, he's a lightning rod for a lot of this criticism. And to be honest, I really don't think that all of that is warranted. I don't think that it's all of a sudden we need to replace him as a quarterback. I think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl with. But at the same time, you know, again, are there certain ways that he can improve? Sure. But it's more nitpicking than justifyingly getting rid of him as your quarterback or thinking that, okay, you can't win with him at this point.
The one thing I'll say, he hasn't turned the ball over. And with this team, with the defense, with the run game, as long as he takes care of the football, you can win big games with him. Now, having said that, he needs to make a couple of throws and seize moments late in games against good teams. I think he will do that. He hasn't done that yet. But to say he can't do that, I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, no, and that's the biggest part too, is that, you know, you're absolutely correct. You know, could Baker step up in those late moments? Yes. Again, like I said, I think it's more nitpicking at this point for what he wants to, or for what he's able to do going forward. But at the same time, you know, I look at what he's able to do, and like you said, he isn't turning the ball over. This is a guy who 2 years ago, because of Freddie Kitchens, threw more than 20 interceptions in a season. So, you know, to go from that to 8 interceptions last year, this year, you know, again, coming off of last week, didn't throw an interception, had a couple of turnovers earlier on in the season, but relatively has played turnover-free football. You know, again, I think that a lot of the criticism that are getting thrown his way, I just don't think that it's really warranted. And I think that Baker still has room to grow. I don't think that we have seen the ceiling of Baker Mayfield. I think that we're seeing the floor, which is somebody who can take care of the ball. He can go ahead, throw for 300 yards when he needs to. But at the same time, you know, again, I think that we're still waiting to see the ceiling of Baker Mayfield here going forward.